taking advantage of the coronavirus. So I hope you enjoy these series of videos, as here I am in India, and I'm having a wonderful time. Thank you so much. If you can't go out, go within. Namaste.
बेटा तेरा रिजल्ट का क्या हुआ?
Oh no!
डैड, एक गुड न्यूज है और एक बैड न्यूज।
गुड न्यूज बता।
मैं पास हो गया।
ग्रेट। और बैड न्यूज?
गुड न्यूज गलत है।
Hi, this is Elitom El-Amin, Breatharian. And here I am in wonderful India, and tonight we're starting energy medicine. This was issued by the Prime Minister of India to deal with the coronavirus. And what it is the whole nation is sticking together using ancient but modern ways to clear the air, clear the atmosphere of unwanted radiation. And the first thing that they did was we did a thing where the whole nation got on their balconies and rang bells and chanted, and I could feel the whole energy change of the whole place. I felt that. I was living that experience, and everybody else. But tonight is a special night because the whole India is going on 9 o'clock here. At 9 o'clock, all the lights in India is going to be cut off. Look at this. This is fascinating. All the lights, even the street lights, are going to be cut off. And you can see them lighting the candles on the balcony. This is a ritual here. We're lighting the candles, getting it together. And all of India, which have a population over 1 billion people.
1.3.
1.3. Thank you, Rishi. 1.3 billion people are actually going to come out, chant, prayers, and all of this. Meditate for 9 minutes, which is a sacred number. And that right there has the power to clear the atmosphere. Those of you who do meditate and understand chanting and stuff, you know just in your esoteric circles when you're with a group, what can happen just in a room, just when y'all together. But now we're taking it to another level.
This is going to be a history. 1.3 billion meditating at one time.
Yeah, this is going to be history. 1.3 billion meditating at one time. Read my lips. Not only the coronavirus is making history by the whole world being locked in like this. Now, the things that we're doing within this time period. There's some people who's choosing to have the fear-based frequency. I even told people who's sending me videos and stuff of negativity, don't send that mess to me no more. That's not true in my reality. Don't do it. So if I haven't sent you that message yet, don't send me no negative messages about no world conspiracy. There's people out here with a positive attitude who has taken advantage of this situation, and light, the higher vibration, always wins over a lower vibration. Read my lips. This is the way I think and this is the way I live. That's why I'm a breatharian. Now listen. Look at these candles getting ready for the ritual. But all these lights are actually going to go off at 9 o'clock, even the street lights. And everybody in synergy, one accord. Because keep in mind that the human being is the greatest science and technology you have access to. Your body is. You're the first wireless technology. And in that being said, you're greater than some 5G. You're greater. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, what's up?
This is Drew Star, the North Star. And you're greater than some viruses or whatever we want to call it. But this is a chance for us to get ourselves together, jumpstart ourselves, and really take advantage of this time period. And check this out too. At 9 o'clock, all the cell phones are going down. Everybody in the nation is commanded to take off their cell phones so that we can use our true nature, true, going inside, our God being to come out to chant, pray, and meditate to bring this power about. 1.3 billion and above people. This broke a record all around the world right now. And this is awesome once again. And I'm so glad to be making history, taking part in this. So this is awesome once again. We're making histories on every level. And of course, those of you who do know, I will add this in. I am doing online retreats. People taking advantage of this. The lights is going off even more in the house, as you can see. Everybody's preparing. So I'm going to let you go also. I wish I could show you the camera on this, but I have to take instructions also. All cell phones must be off so we can be at one accord to make this happen. But wherever you at, if you want to take part in this, it starts at 9 o'clock here. So we got like 10 minutes, but I'm going to commune with the people that's here. We got our chairs set out. We're ready. We're going to pray and meditate and chant. And this is the big city of Mumbai. That's where I'm located. I'm in Mumbai, India. And people have been doing a great job obeying the instructions, staying inside. But if you can't go outside, go inside. When I go up on a balcony, mostly every day, I can see people on their balconies working out, meditating, getting themselves together, because this is what it's all about. And we got many more online retreats coming up too. So take advantage of the quarantine and make it positive. Start being a positive person in your life. This is the time to change, and this is the time to transform. So once again, this is Elitom El-Amin checking out.
Kita kating, kuli kita kata, kuli kita kating, kuli kita kata. Salam kita.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about.
By leaving those heavier foods alone. So not only I left the meats alone, I began to also put an exercise routine in my lifestyle. And then I began to learn more about holistic foods, being more vegan, learn more about live and raw foods. But then it got good. I started learning more about fasting. I started fasting once a week, and it started out for religious purposes. But as time went on, I started to learn about meditation. Now, learning about meditation, that gave me the knowledge to learn about the energy channels within the body. Now, there was a time I didn't know they existed or not, but as I went into the practice and began to focus on those different energy channels, I began to get a boost of energy. It began to better my health, give me more energy, and I didn't know it at the time, but I was already on the pranic journey, because the pranic journey is a holistic health message. So as time went on, I went more into 80% live and raw foods. My meditation, I really stayed with it, and I was so proud of what I did with my health. I got rid of all of that weight. I went from 180 pounds to 160 pounds, and I really felt good about myself. Then one day a young lady said to me, "There's people who can live without eating." And I said, "What?" So I began to go check that information. Now, 19 years ago, because it began to better my health, give me more energy, and I didn't know it at the time, but I was already on the pranic journey, because the pranic journey is a holistic health message. Live and raw foods, my meditation, I from 180 pounds to 160 pounds, and I really felt good about myself. Then one day a young lady said to me, "There's people who can live without eating." And I said, "What?" So I began to go check that information. Now, 19 years ago, because I've been on this path 19 years, they really didn't have that much information like today. But anyway, I did the best I can. I tried to find the most information I can. And what I found that there was a 21-day process at the time that was in circulation. However, I didn't have enough money to take 21 days off of work. I just got married, just bought a house. So what gave me my confidence that I could pull this off, since I didn't have enough money to go out of the country for 21 days, is that the improvements I've already made on my health. I was already living a life of 80% live and raw. I was already into fasting once a week. I was already meditating constantly, and I was already exercising. So I seen all of these health improvements. Now again, I didn't notice it was the pranic journey already. That's why I teach people on this type of level of, first you gotta learn how to eat. First you gotta put exercise into your life, fasting and so forth, and meditation, because that's the foundation of living on prana. So anyway, when I found out about it, and I started to study as much as I can, I went into food freedom. Now what I learned was the physical body was easy to get into a food-free state. But the problem was the accumulated habits that I've done throughout the years of eating. And food is all around you. And my son just did a real good research on food and its association with drug addiction. Your body does give off reward centers of oxytocin, dopamine. And when you're dealing with foods that you love and you've created this habit, this is what the human being is up against. So anyway, I went on to the pranic levels, and there's many different levels and degrees. So I learned how to eat once a day. I learned how to eat once every 3 days. So I understood that as I kept learning more and more and more about being on this path, because keep in mind, you cannot really tell an experience. You have to go through the experience to learn about it. So as I was going through this experience, this is what makes me such a good, credible teacher today, is because I took myself to engage this experience. So being with my son as he was growing up, I decided to eat once every other weekend to maintain our relationship, because that's my son that I've created. But also, I've already broke the rules of what they said that was normal on how you should eat and how much calories you need and so forth. Now, a lot of people mistake this for binge eating, but this is not binge eating at all, because credible teachers. Credible teachers. Okay, the camera's this way, so I can be more square.
Who's here with us today? The man himself. जिसका हम अभी तक वीडियो देखते थे, वो हमारे साथ है.
All right.
Hello, Elitom.
Hello. Good to see you.
We have 265 people from around the world with us right now doing a 3-day juice fast.
Oh man, that is so wonderful. Keep up the good work, everybody. It's a good thing to clean yourself out and purify yourself. And this is wonderful.
So we were just sharing your video, Elitom, with everyone, of how you were explaining what your journey was towards this path, how you started with once a week fasting, then 1 meal a day, and then 1 meal in 3 days. So that truly makes us all believe that it's a step-by-step journey.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'll tell them the journey, and I'll go slowly if y'all need to translate.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Now, I grew up on an American diet. So there was a time I was eating 3 meals a day, even 5. And by doing that over and over again, as I got older, I began to get overweight. So there was a time I weighed 190 pounds or 80-something kilos. And I felt really bad. My health was really going down. High blood pressure was coming in. So then I decided to make a change. Now, the first change I made, I had to get into my mind to start putting me first. I love to help people, but I realize I cannot help other people if I can't help myself. That was number one. And number two, I had to look at my food intake. And my favorite dish was Salisbury steak and gravy. I used to love that dish, but now it was time to make changes, so I had to depart from that old lifestyle. So quickly I became a vegan. I let loose all meat in my diet and all animal byproducts. And immediately, I see my life began to change as my body began to change. Then I started to exercise. I started walking around the track every day. And pretty soon I started to run a little. It took time, but I was patient with myself. And again, I began to lose more weight and feel really good about myself. Then over time, I learned about fasting. So I started to fast once a week in my lifestyle. And at first the fast was hard, 24 hours. Whoa, that was hard. But over a period of time, when I stuck in there, it got easier and easier. And I really felt good about myself that I could do 24 hours, one day a week. I didn't overpush myself. I loved myself, and I took my time. You should learn to master one day before you can take on more. But then I learned about meditation. Meditation is the foundation of the pranic lifestyle. So the first meditation that I learned, first I learned about the energy channels of the body, the 7 chakras, the different nadis. And I found out when I went through meditation that these things are actually real. It just ain't no beautiful picture hanging on a wall. So when I began to channel energy through my body every day, I dedicated myself to that practice every day. And I began to see my life change even more. I began to get other energies coming from other areas because my body began to get stronger with the energy coming in. So I was fasting once a week, eating lighter foods, meditation, and exercising, all into my new lifestyle. And I kept transforming myself. Then I learned more about food. I started learning about more organic foods, live and raw foods. I began to learn about juicing, just what y'all doing now, the power of juicing. And I began to do these things in my life. And then I started having weeks where I went straight juice only. And I felt so good. One time, I drank so much orange juice that my skin turned orange. Somebody said, "Look at you, you're orange." I was like, oh my gosh, I've been drinking orange juice all week. So as life began to get easier, I started to go in my diet 80% live and raw foods. And I felt really good again. Then one day somebody came up to me and said, "Do you know that there's people who can live without eating food?" And I said, "What? Are you serious?" So I began to check on the information. Now that was over 20 years ago. And back then, there was not that much information on food freedom or unfooding. But there was some resources that I found. And when I found them, they showed different processes, basically letting go of the food. But what got me motivated, I looked at the changes I already did on myself before I even got the food freedom. I changed my life before I even knew that. Now, I used to weigh 190 pounds 80 something kilos. And now it was like 165. I felt really good, and I did that. My confidence was up. My belief system was back. So I knew food freedom, I can do that. So then, one day I started to go food free. I said, I think I'm ready. So the first day started. I was no drinking, no eating, and I felt really good. During my meditations, I was high with energy. Day 2 came. I was high with energy again. Day 3 came. Oh my gosh, they should have been told us about this. Wow, this is so easy. Then my sister knocked on the door, doot, doot, doot. And she said she never come over my house, but that day she decided to come. And she had this big box. She was selling candy for the Girl Scouts doing a fundraiser. And there was those M&M candies, you know, those M&M chocolates. And she said, can I leave this box over your house? And I said, why, sure. So I was watching TV and I was saying in my mind, now I'm a breatharian. Now I have achieved it. But I kept looking at the box sitting in the corner, looking back at the TV. Looking at the box, looking at the TV. And before I knew it, the next day I woke up, and I had all of this chocolate all over me. I said, oh no, I failed. Oh my gosh. But that's when I realized it wasn't the body that the body can do it. It's in the mind. We got so many habits in us. We've been eating all of our lives, so we're professional eaters. You're good at it. And that habit is very, very strong. Food is always calling you, just like a chain that's on you. It's talking to you. So that's why this is a process, and you got to take your time. Now you got to realize if you try to suppress something, eventually it will come up. So you don't want to do that either. However, what makes the journey so fun, there is foods you could put down right away, and you know that. But there is some foods that you made a love affair with, and you really love them. My favorite food was avocados, Fritos, those Frito corn chips, and also I used to like chocolate. Those are my 3 right there. However, I enjoyed myself with them. Everything else I left alone. But I kept my fasting, I kept my meditation, I kept my exercise, and the more light you keep getting into your body, pretty soon it'll start overriding those other habits. One day I ate an avocado and it didn't taste the same no more. I said, what happened? So I went to another store, bought another one and ate it. It didn't taste the same. So now I realize that my taste buds and my whole body makeup, due to being under the frequency of light, didn't like that old habit no more. It wanted to go to another experience. See, being a breatharian, it comes from an ancient word for fasting that means anidia. And anidia means to eat very little or none at all. What do very little mean? I've been on this path 20 years, and there's some things that's not called for you to be not eating at all as you're on your journey, having your experience in life. There was a time I was raising my son, I decided to eat with him every other weekend. Now, every other weekend is still a breatharian. Why is that? Because you already broke all the medical records right there. That's powerful. But as he got older and he's grown now, then I could take my journey to another level as you keep growing and developing. So there's many different levels on the breatharian journey. There's the baby levels, there's the teenage levels, and there's the adult levels. So be easy on yourself and take the journey. Don't beat up on yourself and be hard on yourself. There's an old saying that says, a lot of people come to me, I want to be a breatharian. And you know what I say to them? This is a holistic health message. Holistic means whole. It's the totality of your whole life. Do you know that your whole life is nourishing you? It's about relationships. There's some relationships that can draw energy from you. There's some relationships that could give you more energy. See, I feed off being happy. Happiness is what I seek in health. That's the secret. That's the frequency. I hope you got a lot out of this. Now, me, I could talk all day long. Do you need more? Yes.
When did you have your last chocolate?
The last meal was 2017. And how that happened was, now before then, I was already experiencing not eating and not drinking. See, this is a skill you can pick up and put down. However, me and my son was traveling through Europe, and he was going back to America. So I said to him, well, he said to me, Dad, let's have our last meal, or let's have a meal together. No telling when we'll see each other again. And I said, okay. But what popped through my head was, what do I eat? What meal do I get? So we went to the store, and I seen this whole rack of chips, different types of potato chips. Which one do I want? I grabbed all of these bags, thrown them in the cart. No. Ooh, this is good. This is good. Now I'm going to tell you something. A breatharian, people say, you didn't eat a long time. Didn't your organs do whatever? No, you can eat a lot. I out-ate him. I kept going and going and going. But when that night came, my stomach was like a snake. And I was like, oh man, what did I do? I'll never do this again. However, the food will go through you a lot quicker than a normal person, because you got so much heat buildup, you got a strong immune system, and it identifies stuff as being poison, so it will get rid of it a lot quicker. But that was the last meal right there on those levels. And the reason is, now listen at this, everything you're doing, we're having life experiences. So even the breatharian journey of being food-free is an experience that you want to desire or have. You don't have to, but you gotta want it. I remember one time you don't want to deny yourself of life too, because one time I was walking down the street and there was a sushi shop making sushi. And I said, I never tasted sushi before. I heard about it. Let me go taste and see what that is. Now, I wasn't eating or drinking or nothing. I'm a breatharian, but I wanted to taste that sushi. So when I went in there and tasted the sushi, I said, oh my gosh, this is good. So I went to that restaurant every day for a whole week, eating all of this sushi. But guess what? This is the power of breatharian. After the week, I was satisfied. I tasted every flavor I could. I didn't want it no more. So I laid it down and I never picked it up again. And that was back in 2015. That's the power. So you don't have to deny yourself things in life. Enjoy your experience, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, enjoy the world. But at the same time, when you go on this journey, it's expanding your consciousness. All right. Any more questions?
Maybe, Elitom, we can take 3 questions from the audience.
Yes.
So Lakshmi asked, did you ever feel like you should go back to your normal lifestyle?
Oh my gosh. When I think of that last lifestyle now, I don't regret my past at all. I had a wonderful life. You understand? But to go back to it, I don't see that at all because it's a feeling state. My body feels totally different and I love being in this state. To go back to that now, I can't see that. Actually, in my mind, I'm going back into bondage, into a slavery, into a darkness. It shuts down your consciousness because what you put in your body does relate to your consciousness. That's how I feel now. You go into another being.
I think people are concerned or wondering where you get your strength from. Can you show us how strong you are?
Voila, where's my muscle? Voila, la la.
How many push-ups do you do at one time?
Well, what happens is a body with less body fat is easy to cut up. That's just the rules of a body. It's easy to get a muscle when it has less body fat, or you can see it more. Let's put it like that. So that's easy. But this is a health message to keep your strength because a muscle also stores energy for you. See, the brain uses the most energy and that needs to be fed, but the brain has nowhere to store the energy. So there's places on your body, and one of the main ones is, they call it your dantian, if I pronounce that right up under your belly button. That's a good place to store energy. Now notice when we were in our mother's womb, that was the first place we got nourished. So even when we're out here in this realm, it plays a big part on this journey because heat love to rise upwards. So even when you learn about those kundalini energies, the sexual energy, the energy coming from the hip, opening up the psoas muscle and all of that to get more energy conductivity coming upwards, we need all of that in order to feed the brain. But yes, this is a health message. If you want to get stronger, exercise. That'll keep the body moving and it detoxifies the body and it gives you more strength.
2 last questions, Elitom. How old are you and do you drink water?
All right, I'm 51 and drinking water. Now, this is a good question. Beautiful. Drinking water for a breatharian is actually the last question because it's boring. It's boring, it has no taste, so that'll be boring. If you're going to drink something, you'll get something a lot harder. And there was people in Europe one time, they used to hear breatharians talking, and they'll see them drink like cappuccino or something and say, well, if they're talking to a breatharian and they choose something to drink, why do they drink that? Because a lot of them, this is what happens on the journey. You broke the idea of what's keeping you healthy. See, the average person, even when they go into nutrition, they get into vitamins, minerals, calories. When you're on the breatharian levels, all of that breaks. So even when you get something to eat, it don't matter what you eat, you know you're not going to stay there. That's a whole nother level. Now, water, there's moisture in the atmosphere that we're sitting in right now. Like you said, there's 200 and something people from all around the world on here right now. Everybody that's sitting on here, your atmosphere that you're sitting in has moisture in it. You can take your hand and feel it. We're living in water. It's just that the average person is not aware of it. It's like a fish being born in the ocean and they don't know it's born in the ocean. That's just his environment. So your body is well intelligent on how to pull that out of the atmosphere. Now, the reason why you feel that thirst and stuff is due to the mucus buildup inside of your system. Your body creates mucus on everything you eat. So that's why you feel thirsty. The body wants to what? Flush itself. So if you eat, you should drink water. Those are just some of the rules. And if you overeat, you're going to be hungry the next day. Those are just the rules that come with the territory. So that's why this is a self-realization. When you start learning more about fasting, laying back from the table, and even though y'all going on a juice fast, your next upgrade is going to be water fasting. Water is the greatest soluble on the planet. It does give life, and we are mostly water. But your body is well and able, it's the greatest absorber, the skin we have, to grab water out of the atmosphere. Now, there's a doctor in South America named Dr. Salas, and he has a clinic where he has the greatest reports now dealing with the human makeup, dealing with human photosynthesis. And this is what he says. There's a molecule in the human being that's compatible with the plant, the chlorophyll in the plant. Now, the chlorophyll is able to grab light energy and turn it into chemical energy. Nobody argues that. But also the human being could do the same thing. However, the human being also could take chemical energy and turn it back into liquid energy. So we are actually more advanced than the plants. You have to come into that realization. Oh, man. And
Last point.
Test this study is going on right now.
Wow. What message would you like to leave us with 250 of us who are on a juice fast? Would you like to share a last message before we head out?
All right, on this last message, as you go through this juice fast, and that's what y'all doing, write down the benefits and keep on studying the do's and the don'ts, and look how your body just keep transforming itself. Stay on a health path, because you're going to deal with health all your life. And what you're doing now, just start and do it, and it's going to benefit you every day as you live. So keep up the good work and keep on transforming yourself, because there's something that's in all of us that always wants to grow. So keep up the good work, and namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Elitom.
It was a real pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
So wish you the very best day, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Voila.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about.
ओ मेरी सहर जबी ओ मेरी सहर ओ मेरी सहर ओ मेरी सहर ए मेरी चल भाग नहीं सुनाने का
सलाम वालेकुम मोसे भाई दुनिया की इतिहास में
वालेकुम अस्सलाम तेरे प्यो ने कहना वा
I can swear, I can joke, I say what's on my mind. If I drink, if I smoke, I keep up with the guys and you see me holding up my middle finger to
Pónteme de espalda.
Ahí. Ahí. Ahí.
इन दोनों में से चूज करो ना
ये
अगर वो ये वाला चूज करता फिर क्या होता
got every right to a beautiful life. Come on, who says you're not perfect? Who says you're not worth it? Who says you're the only one that's hurting?
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
Hi,
for
this is
me.
Elitom El-Amin, Breatharian. And today we're talking about taking advantage of the quarantine. And of course, we have a 4-day retreat coming up online, but it's more than that. Taking advantage of the quarantine. When I first started my breatharian journey, I'd name all types of things, started to learn what to put in my body, not to put in my body and stuff like this. But it's more than that. What started my breatharian process was the day I dedicated to slow down my life. That's it. I had slowed down my life. I realized that the busy schedules that I had contributed to make me sick. So even though I talk about I was eating the 3 meals a day and stuff like this, back then I had a lot of stress on me, chasing what we call a livelihood, a dollar, trying to be like the Joneses. So when I got sick, I realized that I can't help nobody else if I can't help myself. So that started the journey. I had slowed down my life where I narrowed down the things that I was doing so I can focus on myself. That was the beginning of my breatharian journey. And on this journey, I run into a lot of people. They have a good heart. They really want to be a breatharian. But when I look at their lives are so busy. And I'm trying to be nice and user-friendly, but in this season, I'm going to come straight more forward. You are not going to be a breatharian with that type of stresses in your life. Because your whole purpose for being here is to clear blockages. And all those different external stresses that you have is draining you of energy. You're not going to be nourished by the forces. I don't care how much you believe. You have to learn how to keep stress down. You understand? So that the forces, you won't block it. You're blocking energy through these stresses. So it won't work for all jobs, I'm going to tell you. It won't work for all family situations. If you're sitting there with little children and you got to keep saying, stop, put that down, la, la, la. You're cooking dinner for the whole family every single day. That is a wrong place to be into a process. But what it does do, the breatharian journey is for everybody. It's a health message. You are to take it where you're at, you understand, and get the pieces that fit you at that moment. Don't look for the big picture of not eating and not drinking. This is a health message. So if you're sitting there with that family, which is beautiful, think of ways now on how you can better the whole food intake of the family, the meditation of the family, the timeouts. That's if you could, depending on what situation you're in. Your workplace. What are you going to do when you do take your breaks and stuff like that? What are you going to do at lunchtime? Because when I went on this path, I went through a whole transformation on myself where I had to ask myself these questions. Because perfect health is time management. How are you using your time? And slowly, the universe is user-friendly. It will help you where you're at. You understand? So, and I get these calls all the time, now I'm going to become a breatharian. Well, what does that mean? What does that really mean? See, every day, this is not a destination. Every day, you are totally becoming. Yes, you are. You are not a being where you just stagnant. You are constantly becoming. That's how consciousness works. So you're constantly going to be flowing with the flow every single day, every moment. So don't stress yourself out by looking too far in the future of when something's supposed to take place. That's not how it works. Your consciousness is constantly unfolding the frequency that's in you. You understand? And like I said before, say for instance you got a person, a fruitarian, and then one day they decide to go with some friends and eat a pizza. You understand? But then they go back to eating their fruits. they're not going to say to you, I'm not a fruitarian no more because I messed up and I ate a pizza a couple weeks ago and la la. It doesn't work like that. That is a fruitarian. But he decided for that moment to have pizza with his friends. You understand? So the breatharian movement, we cannot water it down at all with that type of stupidity. Because it's a fascinating thing where you can live with less calories like that, day by day, and carry on. But anyway, enough of that. Right now, we do have an international lockdown taking place, a quarantine. And instead of complaining about it, jumping on YouTube, looking at all these different messages that's building up a field-based frequency, learn to take advantage of it. I am. My body is coming even more developed. Now you might say I'm not showing off or nothing. I just got finished doing some push-ups, and this is with no food, folks. This is awesome. This does take place, but you really got to be willing and dedicated to stay with discipline. This is a perfect breatharian body, but it takes work. It takes, because hunger is in your mind. It's not in the body at all. And we have built up these habits. That's why it seems so thick on how it's calling you, and you can't see your way out of it. And we also live in a society, I remember what food tastes like. It is good. Cooking is an art. It is an art form. It most definitely is. And we got recipes today that have never been on this planet before. For real. So therefore, depending on your situation coming out of that, that can be tough. However, I'll be the first one to tell you, I come out of a soul food African American community. When they make macaroni and cheese, it's going to have more than one cheese. You believe that. And it's going to be cheesy. The ribs are going to have a good thick barbecue on it. You understand? So that was a dense frequency food that I came out of. And the battle through that was really something. It didn't happen overnight, no tape on my mouth. And there's many dishes as I travel around the planet. Italian food is, whoa, that is deep now. I've been to Italy. I'm here in India now. Indian food is the bomb. And when I mean that, in a good way. Right. And I've been to these other countries where they have their dishes. And to come up out of that and overcome that, because cooked food and fried food is addictive. Sugar is addictive. Salt is addictive. You got all the different flavors of sodas, pops. Dairy is addictive. Cheeses. You understand? So it's not about being doubtful could this happen or not. I'm just glad where I'm at, and I don't want to go back. So you put in so much work that'll be your ultimate decision that you don't want to go backwards because you see how your body feels. That's why this is a feeling state or a health message. When you start bettering your health, then that's where it comes at. That's where you start making more transformations. However, you don't want to push it too hard where you don't enjoy the experience of life. You understand? So you're still a breatharian, but if you got children, it's okay to eat with them. If you got family situations to go through, it's okay. Just eat differently than you did before. Now, there's a lot of power in food itself, and also water and the different liquids we drink. Be wise. You understand? And if you do have a day where you splurge, always get back on your system. You understand? And start monitoring yourself. Start logging it down. But since we're on this quarantine, this is a real good thing because you don't have the other stresses in life. They should be shut down, or it's up to you to shut them down. Because again, when I started out this video, what started my health journey, not the breatharian journey, they're one and the same. What started it is when I decided to spend more time on myself. That's it. If you want where do I begin? Spending time with yourself, taking advantage of it. So it's like right now I'm sitting here in this room, I'm in India, just did some push-ups, just worked on the forearms, and I ain't overdo it. I took it nice and easy because my body is really loving this space. Now I'm going to take a nice cool shower, cool down, listen to some chanting, do some meditation, and then all this other good stuff. And then I'll go see who's around and chat and stuff. But you're taking advantage of the space. See, we live in paradise. The world is good. But again, don't let the negativity that's over the internet indulge your mind either, and you take it as truth. Somebody sent me some silly video last night. Ooh, this is what's happening. No, it's not what's happening. They must have forgot I'm worldwide and where I come from. I'm not in America right now, but I got people all over America, and but the video they showed me, no, that's not what's happening. But they suck into it. Stop it. Just cool down, worry about yourself, and get your health on key like never before. Spend some time on yourself and go within like never before. And these online retreats we got, sign up, because we're going to work, oh man, every retreat I have, go deeper and deeper. I go for the best retreats possible. Out of my mouth, I don't say, well, this one was better than this one. It always goes like this. So this one that's coming up is going to be the best ever. Absolutely. Because I'm on top of my game. I love it. See, I love being a breatharian. See, some people want to be a breatharian. You might not even like it. This is a whole change of a lifestyle. You probably won't even like the lifestyle. Did you ever ask yourself that question? That's deep, ain't it? You have to grow into it. But we're always becoming. You're not a human stagnant being. You're always unfolding, always becoming. So give yourself time, and every day is different, and watch yourself unfold slowly. It took me time to get to this state. This didn't happen overnight. And I'm amazing myself too. Absolutely. I just did push-ups, all this other stuff, and there's no food involved. And keep in mind, when this quarantine is over, we're going to shake the foundations of the earth. Remember when before 2020 came, and everybody was talking about this going to be the year and something big going to happen? Well, it's in your face. It happened. Here it go. So stand up to the bat now. Let's go ahead and ride this wave. And bigger things than this going to happen. The Breatharian message over the last 5 years has been moving so strong. So strong. Big things been taking place. We've been touching millions of people. And I said before this year is out, we're going to touch the billions. We got great things coming up with some great institutes, doctors getting involved, scientists getting involved. Not to disprove it, we're bringing it to the table like never before. And we're not here to go running after the skeptics. See, I told you, I told you. We're going to be user-friendly and say, this is for you too. That's what it's all about. So again, this is Elitom El-Amin. Keep working on yourself, and we're going to keep going higher and higher as we're growing in this new age that we're in. Like I said, in 2030, that's 10 years now, we're going to be in a world you won't even recognize. Both with the external technology and the internal. Incredible things that we're doing. And see, and listen at this. A day is short. Well, no, let me repeat that. A day is long, but a decade goes short. Start now. Because if you don't start now and keep procrastinating, putting off, one day, I will, a decade is going to leave you by, and it's going to be harder to catch up. The knowledge is here now, and I don't even want to say the knowledge. I'm going to stop that word. I'm going to use awareness. The awareness is here now to expand your awareness like never before. We're talking totally different than our grandparents and them before us. This is our age, and it's our turn, as long as your feet are standing on the ground. So let's go higher and higher once again and bring on this great endeavor in changing the world, because each and every one of us is taking part in it. Peace and blessings. Have a good day, and I love you.